Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Texans Pro with Drew and Jacob. Today, we're going to go through a recap of the Texans Bears Sunday night game. Kind of talk about some things that happened in that game, especially the second or the first half, because second half was kind of a disaster. But we're going to go through that, and we'll preview the upcoming game against Minnesota, which should be a good one. Two 2-0 teams. Not one that I expected coming in to be two 2-0 teams with how Minnesota's played, but they have Minnesota's a very talented team, very well coached team, so it should be a good matchup for sure. You ready, Drew?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So I think we'll start. Let's start from the Chicago game. Just kind of one standout on offense and one standout on defense for you.
Okay. Well, I think the standout defense, and I'll just say this is my player of the game, and I'll go with Henry To'oTo'o. I think the Henry To'oTo'o is the player of the game, not only just because of this week, just because if you think about the overall improvement that he's had. When I watched him on tape, and I watched him on tape last week and this week, he just looks so fluid. He has such a great understanding of how to play linebacker. And you just don't see that all the time from linebackers now. A lot of linebackers just want to be those athletes or like a physical presence. But Henry To'oTo'o is kind of like that multiple tool guy at the linebacker position. He hasn't really been asked to do too much in coverage because the
No.
Texans have been running dime on
Yeah.
third down a lot. If you don't know, dime means that there's going to be just one linebacker on the field. That means the Texans had Kalen Bullock on the field, Jimmy Ward on the field, Eric Murray on the field, along with Jalen Petrie. And that is a really good thing that the Texans can do because they're also going to, and we'll go over it, they're able to disguise coverages. And it's perfect for Henry To'oTo'o because he goes out there, he just has the job of stopping the run while playing short routes. And he just does it so well. We're going to go over a couple of those plays. And on offense, there wasn't really a person who stood out other than Nico Collins. I mean, really,
Yeah.
that was it. I think Nico Collins is solidified himself as the guy in the Texans offense, and that's a good thing. Like, there's no reason for that to be a bad thing because of who the Texans also have on offense. Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon. We even got to see a little bit of Cam Akers. There was some runs that are kind of teach tape for me when it comes
Yeah.
to zone running scheme. Cam Akers is just so efficient that he did in the preseason. He also did it once or twice against the Bears. So it's good to see. CJ Stroud some really good plays with ball placement,
Mhm.
specifically Nico Collins too. CJ was throwing with a ton of anticipation. That just goes to show the chemistry that he has with Nico Collins. I think Nico Collins really stood out as a route runner, as a speed guy. Um, Also, the most important thing about Nico's game, really to me, is his strides. He does have a good 40 time, and that's because of his strides. He's able to sell that vertical route, and then he also has really smooth hips to be able to go to the corner, go in, easily hitch in on a slant. So I think Nico Collins really solidified himself as the most talented, best receiver in the Texans offense, and one of the best in the league at this point.
100%. Like you said, on offense, there's not that much outside of Nico that was like stand out. So I'll
I
just
don't
go with
blame him.
Stroud, just because I do think maybe statistically it didn't show up, but I thought Stroud played one of his better games, just out of structure playmaking, and I thought his ball placement was really good. Didn't have a turnover. One probably should have been a turnover. It was a hell of a play by the linebacker for Chicago or the corner, whoever it was. But the stats could look a lot better if Tank doesn't fall and drop the bomb that he threw, and then there was a
Yeah.
couple of plays that just was a little bit off. And there was the offensive line did not play very well, so it was tough. But I thought Stroud had a really good game overall. I thought he played better this week than he did against Indy.
I think that like when it was on, it was on. Like, but he had
Yeah,
some misses, but like man, those completions, it wasn't just like body catches by the receiver. These are balls that were either thrown with anticipation or led in just a very comfortable area for the receivers. There was some pass, like okay, maybe on third down he missed the one to Diggs on the Hank route, third and long. That's tough ask, but it was there. Tough ask. Well, there's an out route to Tank Dell. He missed a little
yeah,
bit there, kind of set Tank up for failure. Had to stretch out for it. That's fine. The Texans offense, they kind of abused the halfback screens, specifically cross screens. The Bears were able to identify that. So a lot of things that can just be fixed. And I think they will fix that, but Minnesota Vikings have been phenomenal defensively. Absolutely
Yeah,
phenomenal.
they have. Brian Flores is one of the best. Um, I don't know how he's not a head coach. So that for a while.
He doesn't need
Uh,
to be.
yeah,
He
I know he's
just, a great defense coordinator. He brings that attacking, blitz heavy scheme. I wouldn't necessarily want him as a head coach. I think he just is he doing what he's good at.
yeah. No, I mean that's definitely fair because I don't think Minnesota's the most talented defense at all. I think they just throw weird stuff at you and it works. So
Everything suggests that Blake Cashman apparently had a phenomenal game against
yep.
the 49ers, and that doesn't surprise me one bit.
No, yeah, I like Cashman a lot. So not surprised by that. And then my defensive standout, I'd probably have to go Kamari Lassiter. If you took Toa, who I thought played really well as well, but Lassiter um, played a hell of a game. Honestly, I didn't know he had those type of ball skills on either one of his picks. I'd never seen that on his college film, so
Yeah,
he made some really impressive plays, and most of the corners played really well. And as a whole, the defense was awesome. They got the pass rush. The two linebackers play well. Aziz is another guy that you could give it to. Like he played a really good game. Um, Jalen Petrie was also really good.
yeah.
And Jalen Petrie is not even necessarily a guy that like I think stands out when you watch the film, but just having him being able to play that type of role is so huge for the
He just does
defense. Does
it
that get an
perfectly.
extra?
Like he really hasn't made many mistakes lately.
No.
He's been really good in coverage in terms of just like route recognition, understanding the two-man concepts, understanding the curl flat concepts. I saw some really good triggers from him, like on the halfback flat routes where he's already in the curl, but he's coming down the flat, and he didn't miss those tackles. He would force them out of bounds, or teammates would help. He didn't have any missed tackles. Stingley, the one who had two missed tackles.
Yeah.
I'd
He
say
had some bad misses.
Stingley had better coverage all around than Kamari Lassiter. Now, that shouldn't be a surprise to Stingley.
Yeah.
But Kamari has moments. Roman Dunze, some of the routes that he ran were unbelievable. I didn't know he was able to run routes like that. It was pretty cool to watch. But Kamari Lassiter had the ball skills. That was fun too. And it doesn't look like the Texans really have any liabilities on defense. Excited to get
No,
the Autry back in a couple weeks. That'll be fun. And the run defense played pretty well.
for sure, for sure. All right, we can go ahead. Let's go ahead and get into some film and we'll go through this stuff. Here we go. All right, let's go ahead. You want to just start from the top or um any we could just let's go ahead and get into this. Right.
We can go with the first play because the first play was kind of a typical Bobby Slowick design. I'll just go over that real quick. It's going to be I form close, going to be a little play action Yankee concept with the post cross. And also a little boot there to make sure that the linebacker's not going to get a free rush. And this is wide open.
Yeah.
Nico Collins is open on that crosser, but CJ, this really was one of his misses as well. This ball is going to get deflected. Sorry for the buffering on the video, but hopefully it'll be better soon.
There we go.
Again, just very good concept by Bobby Slowick, and that's what we saw last year. And now we get to see instead of Noah Brown run the crosser, we get to see Neil Collins run the crosser. And Neil Collins would have had 160 receiving yards if this ball is completed. Just go to think about that. And yeah, let's
Yep.
see what next play is
That's a pretty good play
notable.
by the linebacker as well. So
Yeah, the Bears made a lot of plays defensively that made it hard to say that like the Texans like actually messed up. Like I can't really say that
yeah.
the Texans played a bad offensive game. I would say I respect the Bears defense more than I would say the Texans played bad. Like
Yeah,
when
no, I agree.
like when Big E told me that maybe Tyus Harden had the best game. Well, I saw Eberflus throwing a lot of stunt calls at Titus and Shaq Mason that they had a little trouble with. It's also and then Montez Sweat put a good move on Titus Howard. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that anyone played bad. I'd say the worst offensive player would probably have been Jarrett Patterson. But
Yeah, he was bad. Yeah.
it's such a hard thing to do to step in as the backup center. He played left guard last year too, so he's just all this flip-flopping, and so it can just be very challenging. And
For
this
sure. I just kind of wanted to highlight the formation because it is kind of cool how on situations like this you could have Mixon line up as the slot and then have Diggs in the backfield. You can just do a lot of different things with the weapons that the Texans have. Um, it's pretty fun. And then I think next play you'll see that Nico lines up in the backfield. And so there's just a lot that you could do with what options you have with your weapons.
this is also a really good route by Joe Mixon. He's going to be able to stack. He's going to stack it vertical, get a little shimmy, make you think. Cut inside, ball's led. Like I said, when it was on by CJ. He's going to lead it right inside to Mixon. The slant holds the safety. The dig holds the safety. No one's going to mess with Mixon on the slant. Then you're gonna get a. This was pretty cool because you're gonna shift from
Yeah,
one
this
side.
was, yeah.
You're gonna wing right to wing left. Shift the X to the H. So pretty cool stuff. And then that's just another way to get your playmaker the ball. I believe it's a yeah, it's a jet sweep. Okay. Yeah, jet sweep. I thought it was a really good block by Brevin Jordan. Cade Stover is going to get into that role next week with Brevin Jordan going on injured reserve. Maybe we'll finally see is it? Oh, sorry, British Brooks. And next week at
Yeah.
fullback, Cade Stover permanently at tight end too, or just whatever you want to do. More three receiver sets, 11 personnel. Texans personnel wise should be fine with Brevin Jordan, not just because Cade Stover is really been a good blocker. It's been really impressive.
Yes.
Shout out to Cade Stover. And
We'll
then that's
see. But I remember I watched this play. This is kind of Kenyon kind of runs into the D tackle, and
yeah, I was gonna
then
say that
this is
I wrote down my notes. The Shaq Mason and Kenyon kind of ran into each other. Ken Green's
yeah,
gonna get beat across face here, which didn't really happen much last week. So let's just watch this play again. Yeah, it's just kind of tricky. I didn't love the way the blocking went here because when you're running wide zone, you don't really want You would rather let Shaq Mason get upfield, but maybe they felt
yeah,
that would be more comfortable going upfield and Mason handle that responsibility. So I didn't like the way the responsibilities were handled in the run game on Sunday night. I feel like that it just kind of seemed off a little bit. Sometimes it's like, well, there's not enough hats on hats. Guys aren't really in space. Like there's a play at the end of the third quarter. I was like, well, feels like maybe if Jared Patterson went upfield instead of him. So just some things they can kind of fix a little bit. And then there's too many false starts on offense at home.
yeah. There
That's
was too
not
many
acceptable.
flags.
I think there's three.
Way too many flags.
The Texans score a touchdown, second and 26. So who cares? But that's another play where you're going to see Cade Stover next week, and that will deuce close formation. And that was kind of I would say one of the more relatively lame designs from Bobby Sloak. They're really just trying to protect CJ. There was really well covered. Kenyon Green's going to get beat a little bit
Yeah, he got
there.
beat. Yeah,
Stuck in his head. Didn't really have a hand counter. You got a punch counter punch. But Bears defensive
yeah,
line kind of exposed the Texans a bit. So we'll see how they respond next week.
yeah. I do know. Chicago does have a really good defensive front. So, uh, they were number one in pressure rate after they traded for Sweat last year. So it's not rare for them to get a ton of pressure, but um, it wasn't as good of a week for Kenyon as he has played the last
Mm.
couple.
It wasn't really a good week for him, though. That's a line.
No, yeah.
Can't
I
give
thought
you any
Tunsil was pretty
standouts.
good, but
Right. I mean,
that was
Tunsil
put
made
in.
no mistakes when they put, Montez Sweat on Titus. That's what I'm talking about with John Petrie. Is the
Yeah, he's cracking
recognition, the
down.
trigger has just constantly been there. He's been making plays, causing havoc, really closing the gap where last year just felt like it took him a while to make plays.
Yep. great run defense. Let's watch this from the other
Danielle Hunter,
angle.
yes. This play was really made by Danielle Hunter. He's going to get the initial knockback, I believe. Yeah, he's going to stab, outside contain. And he's just able to hold ground. Like, that's really impressive. People have to understand how impressive it
Let's
is for
see.
Danielle Hunter. Look at that. Bang, holds his ground and pushes back. Folu's also getting a long arm in there too. So they're kind of stab containing, getting inside, kind of cut the Bears off guard there.
All right, let me check this. I know they added some new features. I want to make sure. Uh, okay, here we go. Let's see. We got this now. All right, here we go. This was a good play by Caleb. Um,
Oh yeah. Probably his best throw of the game
yeah, I think so.
there. But I did have a little bit of an issue with Kamari there because you have to look at the sticks. Look at where he's
Yeah,
bailing.
yeah.
He's bailing at the 38-yard line. The sticks at the 34-yard line.
34, yeah.
If he had just stood the sticks, you make the receiver is probably just going to break out before the sticks, and it's going to be short. The receiver is just trying to get into the cushion, make sure he gets past the sticks, but
Mhm.
Kamari has to have the awareness to say, "This is where the sticks are." Trust the defensive line, but also trust yourself to be able to make the play, turn your hips. But he's just staying square and waiting.
Yeah, we talked about it in preseason too, where he kind of had the same issues where he would not recognize sticks or not recognize certain like he'd overplay certain things, and
Yes.
that's not that's not like a bad thing to see really when it's early in his career. Like it's understandable, but it's just something to work on. He's not been perfect, right? He's been really good, but this is one of those missed tackles we were
Rookie
talking about.
cornerbacks, and this was a great play by Derek Stingley at the beginning. But DeAndre Carter is really slippery, and just if Stingley had
Yeah.
got a little bit more contact on him, understand that Carter's not that big of a guy. You don't need to just tackle at his hip. You can really get into his body there, press and make contact.
Um, they were
That
a
was a
good play,
great
but
Henry
this is
To'oTo'o
Toa.
play.
Yeah, yeah. Let's watch that from the other angle. But no, they had the run shut down pretty much the entire game. So Chicago was not able to run the ball.
That's why
Neither was Indy.
this was really good patience by Henry To'oTo'o and Aziz Al-Shaair. They're letting, I think it's Tim Settle just kind of occupy that double team. You're gonna wait, flow
Yep.
left,
Let's see.
scrape a little
See.
bit. Yeah, look at that right there, Tim Settle. He's gonna kind of flow up. You're just basically taking a read step up, uh, and you kind of go left and fill. I played 2 games at linebacker somehow, some way in my high school career, and that's kind of what they told me at practice. When we play the triple option teams, they got to move the safeties down to linebacker. So really fun stuff.
And this is the heated pocket. Good tackle by Toa too. Um,
Really, the thing about Will Anderson that was so great is just that he was condensing the pocket all game long. And while he's not getting the sack on that, it just really makes Caleb uncomfortable. It makes him feel like he has to throw the, short routes like that. And you're going to get
yep.
a 5-man pressure. This was the most pressure the Texans had sent in the D'Amico Ryans era. I'm very confident in that statement.
It is.
I'm
Yeah, it
pretty sure
was for
pressure
sure.
rates would, confirm that too. But look at that 5-man pressure. Maybe it's the confidence in Al-Shaair blitzing rather than Harris or Perryman last year. But I really like the rate of pressure.
And honestly, Davis gets really good push here too. Makes Caleb step up almost into Anderson. So you get the like you said, you get the pressure. It's not a sack,
Yes, that
but
is. That's an impressive throw. Credit to Caleb
yeah,
Williams. He was looking pretty good in the first half, and then when the more simulated pressure to Miko's sent at him, he just got a little bit more uncomfortable.
yep.
And Caleb also made some amazing escapes out of the pocket too. I mean, he avoided a safety in the second half, I believe. It's going to be, can we stay in this angle? Yeah, it's going to be on Stingley. That's going to be a stack formation. But Stingley was just put his eyes on Caleb. He was just expecting more of
Yeah.
a flat kind of route. And but the problem is where his hips were located, his back leg is kind of his back foot is aimed at the sideline. It's going to be too difficult for him to come down on it. That's kind of the biggest
I
technical
have to see it
mistake
right
I've
here.
really seen Stingley make in a while in terms of like his hips. Don't typically see him make a mistake like that.
Yeah. You can even see it like once he actually sees more in his peripheral, like he's shocked that the route's there.
Yeah.
You can even see his reaction to it. He didn't expect that, and it's a good play call, but also like it's a mistake by Stingley.
Stingley's got good instincts, but sometimes your instincts lie to you and stuff like that happens. He
Yeah.
was probably expecting a bubble screen because that other guy blocked, it didn't do anything. So I totally understand why. But he can just stay square and make a play on the
Let's get on to next couple plays. He's shadowing more pretty much the entire game too.
yeah.
So we'll see if what they do with Jefferson, but you would assume that it'd be somewhat similar.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing much Lassiter on
No.
or at all, really.
Yeah, no, Stingley followed for the most part. I think I saw he had one target when Lassiter was uh covering, but that was it.
Yeah. It's gonna be really good. Push the board. Lancer is kind of trailing on the dig. You make a play on the ball if that's thrown. Take a look at the end zone view for the pressure.
Yeah.
We're gonna get kind of just a left
It's a
overload with the mug right there from Al Shair. Then you're gonna get a
yeah.
twist. I love
Yep.
the twist stuff because Al Shair is gonna be able to fly um off that edge. He takes a good angle. See what the angle looks like here. Yeah, I mean that's a really well-timed thing. Hunter bangs into both of them. The shoulder allows Al Shair to come along, but I think Will Anderson also. Oh, I remember what happens. Yeah, he gets chipped twice. He kind of just flies in, and then number 58, Darnell right, he had a really rough game.
Yeah.
A
Yeah, he
really,
was not
really rough.
good.
He's also blocking Tim Settle. Probably chunked him a little bit and got him a little bit tired.
When even Hunter beats two guys, like you said, he's twisting here. He has the tackle and the guard. He just beats both of them. So yeah,
Will
no.
Anderson nearly had. This is another one of those games where Will Anderson nearly had 3 or 4 sacks.
We talked about it in the first game, but I thought Tim Settle, like he didn't necessarily do anything here, but I thought he was much better than he was against Indy because he did not look very good in week one, but he played a pretty good game this week, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, really, no one had any problems on the defensive line.
No,
I'd say Jerry Hughes. There's a one play where he got washed on the 4th and 1, but I mean, that's not really who you want to be in as a run stuffer.
no,
Just
yeah.
that's how it happened. When guys are on the field, they have to sub in sometimes.
Yep. No, Hughes is a strictly pass rusher at this point in his career.
Yeah.
Um, so
And
not
here,
ideal. And we've talked about it with Barnett playing somewhat inside. Once Autry's back, that role will be even
so,
better.
God, I can't
So
wait. Oh
yeah,
man, it's gonna be awesome.
yeah,
And
and
you're
then
gonna
Hughes will pretty much just be out of the rotation at that point. You would think. This was okay. Just from where I was sitting at the game, this was set up really well. It's just a really good play by the defensive tackle because if they complete this ball, like if Mason gets this block here, they got a ton of room.
yeah.
Um,
And the reason
it's
I'll
just a
say that
really good play.
it works so well is because you see Cade Stover lined up over there. They're basically faking an orbit screen to Tank Dell
Yeah,
with Cade Stover as your lead blocker. So you got Tremaine Edmonds thinking that's going to be an orbit screen to Tank Dell, meaning there's only going to be one guy over there. Jared Patterson's going to be able to get hands on that safety. Shaq Mason gets hands on the linebacker. Austin Booker is some of the longest arms in the NFL, though. I think it's Austin
yeah.
Booker. So
It's either
yeah,
it may be Sweat. I can't tell. No, I don't. 98.
yeah,
Oh,
I
who is?
guess that's Sweat. He's got
Yeah,
pretty long arms too. He's a freak
yeah,
out.
yeah. I mean, like it's just the fact that like we talked about. There's a couple of plays in the game where like the offense could have had huge plays, and it just was like it's a really good play. There's not much you could do about that.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Titus is supposed to let Montez Sweat. come through. It's a screen. That's what
Yeah,
linemen do.
yeah,
And Montez Sweat just kind of got arm up there.
yeah. No, I mean it's a really good play by Sweat. There's not much else you can
Now,
really do.
for what reason Jared Patterson actually goes to double team instead of going to Kevin Byard. So glad we don't have to go on his butt about that.
Yeah, yeah, they should have gotten upfield, but
See, he goes 53. And Kevin Byard would have actually laid out Joe Mixon.
yeah, at least we got Scruggs hopefully coming back next week. He's definitely a game changer on that front. Um,
He can so I
so
mean he had a really good game against the Colts. So
he did for sure.
and then that's just where I think Nico's gonna sell the vertical. And I really like the way he's able to just kind of move his flip his hips and get inside, sell the vertical. Really smooth. Remember, he's 6'4", 220, 4'3", 40, freak athlete, super impressive.
For sure. No, he's a special player for sure. Um, it was unfortunate you didn't get this first down, but then 4th and 1, you go for it. You get Stover wide open, great play call.
This was another one of the great Bobby Slowick play designs. I mean, look, you're getting a little mesh concept, and Jordan's going to run the corner. He's just going to occupy the middle of the field. No one has eyes on Cade Stover.
Yep.
Really want to see British Brooks in this role next week a little bit too.
Yeah, I would think we would at this point.
Cade Stover looks a little stiff in the open field there. Get a little,
He does. He
he'll get
does.
5 more yards from British Brooks. All due respect. So, and Kaimi wouldn't have had to make such a long field goal. Then again, a fake counter end around lead. Another great play design by Bobby Slowick. Got all the misdirection. And this it's funny. It used to be Xavier Hutchinson in this role, but that's 2 weeks in a row with Tank Dell gadget play.
Yep. And good block by Stover here too, getting out there. No, it's a tight end on a corner, but good block
Well,
for
a lot of
sure.
people might miss that block. That was a really good angle by Stover.
Yep.
It's contact and point of attack. So no complaints. Then kind of just have Titus Patterson and Tunsil walling off up there, getting bodies in the way. It's gonna be, I mean, obviously too hard for them to catch, these DBs in space. So shifty.
Just get in the way, pretty much. That's the goal there.
Literally.
All right.
Titus looks good in the open field though.
Yep. No, I'm not worried about Titus. I know people are kind of freaking out about that. I'm confident with Titus at right tackle.
And yeah, Nico. Oh, I guess there was a
Now
was
skip
holding.
skip the other play, but other
It's
play
okay.
was like a
It's
two
okay.
yard run. But here we go.
Yeah. It's gonna have a
Hands to the
little
face.
under concept and I really like this spacing. They have double crossers, couple are gonna have the levels concept, free up the middle of the field. It's kind of a classic air raid concept here.
Yeah, you
Look at
got
those levels coming in, the high low. You do have Diggs if you want him, but CJ can clearly see that Tremaine Edmonds has eyes on Diggs. So here we go, CJ to Nico.
you could also kind of you could maybe also fit that into Schultz if you really wanted to. Uh, make it killed by the safety, but it's there. If you threw it earlier, it was
Everything
there.
saying that's one of those play designs where it's just too tough to defend with a too high safety book.
And we've seen it across league wide. Like teams are playing a lot more to safety, so you'll see that type of stuff more often for sure. Let's go ahead and watch it from this angle. Jalen Johnson did not. Oh, that was a little bit embarrassing for him. Kind of got thrown down for no reason. All right,
Did see
let's go
Jalen
back.
Johnson or Brisker make any plays. They're supposed to be the studs
Nope.
and
Yeah.
do much. This is a really good play by Jimmy Ward. He shuts down the slide. We're out from Komet.
Was this was first down, wasn't it? No, why did it skip skip
Yes.
too many plays? I know I'm trying to do the next play feature that they added and it keeps skipping multiple. So I gotta figure that out. But we're good. We're good. this is a good play. Hunter gets out there. You get
Yeah,
Lassiter.
that's just impressive that Daniil Hunter is able to swarm all the way to the sideline, pursuit, closing speed. He's a freak. Sees offside ears banging. Toto could have tried to get a little bit wider, keeps outside shoulder free. And Ward's gonna creep down from the too high, rolling like a cover three curl flat for him.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's just Ward. I mean, really, Ward does a good job. Even if he doesn't make the play, he takes on the blocker and really opens up Toa, even though Toto kind of runs into the blocker. Um, just kind of
Yeah, Ward has been a kind of a fresh breath of air because last year when he was out, you didn't really see much physicality from the safeties. You had your
yeah.
Houston Carson, other guys, kind of forgetting right now, but Ward is
Um,
not afraid to take on contact
Amos,
as Amos, Green Jackson.
Kareem Jackson. Yeah.
You just kind of get a little boost from Jimmy Ward. He sets the tone. You can kind of just tell kind of person he is watching the film. And that's just Caleb reading the coverage, knowing Kamari's in a deep third, can easily throw the out there.
Yeah.
Now maybe Kamari will kind of learn from Stingley a little bit to sit on the stuff, read, react. But Kamari's just kind of playing his show right there.
Oh, yeah. We've seen this one, but um, honestly, what only thing I thought was I couldn't explain to you how this wasn't intentional grounding, but
He's right outside the hash. Or not the
yeah,
hash.
maybe. Yeah, outside the tackle box, but I don't know if he was. But either way, I think that's I don't know.
I'm actually surprised that Caleb didn't try to throw the under to whatever the hell.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
just
yeah. He was
Rome,
yeah.
Rome. That happens.
It's
Yeah,
a little flush.
we're not the ones sitting in the pocket. Actually, Will Anderson would have swatted it.
Yeah, he
Never
was watching
mind.
from the other angle because Rome looked like he was open, but see, why does it keeps going back into their play? I got to figure this out. All right, go back to here we go. This is what we were talking about. You really could have hit. I mean, like you said, Anderson's kind of the reason why it's not thrown. He's just
It's
right
just
there.
very tricky. It's hard to
Yeah.
ask. Absolutely. All right. After this touchdown, we can just focus on or after this drive, we can focus on more specific plays for sure.
Sounds good. The one I do kind of want to go over Akers runs, just because he may start, so probably worth going through
Didn't
that.
see, I watched into the fourth quarter. Didn't Joe Mixon like technically finish the game?
He came back and they took him back out, so
But
I don't know.
I watched his last I thought I watched his last carry and he looked fine.
Yeah, he
So
looked okay, so I don't know. Yeah, but he didn't practice today, so I'm just kind of assuming he's not going to play, but he may play. I don't know.
to come on and say I don't care if Joe Mixon plays or not. I think Cam Akers is like his clone at this point. I already said he
Yeah.
was Joe Mixon light. Like I really don't care if Joe Mixon doesn't play.
Yeah.
We
Hopefully we
need
start
Joe
getting these
Mixon
type of
to
calls because
play.
that's a flag. You it's struck it right in the face. Uh, not really sure how this isn't
We can
called, but
watch the one-on-one with Sweat. Yeah, this is what like I'm talking about. A punch counter punch. You know, the hand counters just weren't there from Titus. And Montez
yeah,
Sweat is a physical specimen. I understand that, but Titus isn't really adjusting. He's not reacting. He's just kind of stepping back and kind of waiting. Like, obviously, he's not letting Sweat inside. That's good. CJ's going to be able to step up most of the time, but it's getting a little bit too much knockback. Still not necessarily a concern. And yeah, Kenyon Green just getting straight up beat over there. He's ducking his head again. He's getting off balanced. Of course, Stephon Diggs is making a great. This is really good ball placement. I mean, no one else is going to get this ball except for Diggs. I know you posted this clip too. You can talk a bit about his pocket presence.
yeah. I just like the fact that you see a lot of quarterbacks where if they get any type of pressure, they're trying to look to run. Where instead of that, he just kind of
Yeah, it's just like
slides.
it's
It's just
like a
clean
fluid.
footwork.
Yeah, very clean, fluid step up instead of just like a straight up drive and scramble kind of
Yeah,
look.
because really the problem is that a lot of times, like you could see, like as soon as if we're watching, like I'm watching Will Levis against against the Jets defense, we could talk about that all day. Like he's horrible, but if
He's
if this guy is so if Kenyon gets beat and then Edmonds kind of takes off instead of just kind of standing here and sliding feet, he's going to
CJ
try to
doesn't give
like
a
take
shit.
off.
He doesn't give a
He's
shit
just
that DeMarcus Walker got off the ball.
no, like he
CJ's
didn't. Yeah,
stepping up.
but and it's just clean footwork. It's 1-2, 1-2. But if Levis is going to if he's under pressure like this, he's going to try to run forward and then try to make a play.
And then
Where you
Montez
see
Sweat's gonna
Stroud,
get off the block and he's gonna get
you
sacked.
see you see Stroud just kind of slide like he just slides forward until the throw's open because he knows where Diggs is going to be and he knows it's going to be open, so he just has to slide until it's going to be there. And if it's not there, then you either just try to take off at the third down or you just throw it away. It, it's simple stuff like that where that's why even when their offense doesn't put up the numbers that you would expect, they win games because on third downs like this, you have the quarterback that can make plays like this and is smart enough to just not put the ball in harm's way. He's not going to do some stupid shit. He's not going to throw the ball backwards. He's not going to do this. Like you can look league wide, and quarterbacks are get like a lot of quarterbacks are just stupid. Like very smart guys, I'm sure, but they do stupid things. And so it's nice to have the quarterback that it's not like this. The pocket presence it would stand out to you, but it just is a little the feet movement and the stuff like that that guys like Brady and stuff did really well that he does really well. And so that's why even when the offensive line doesn't play that well, he can go make plays. That's why I was so impressed by it. And I
Yeah.
mean the ball placement is unbelievable. You couldn't place that anywhere. So but
Oh man.
and the reason the ball placement's so good is because the footwork is so clean that he can just step up and throw it.
He's got
Where
no
like,
problem throwing the
yeah,
trigger,
where
pulling the trigger.
a lot of guys step up, have to reset their feet and then throw it, and then it's not open or
He's
it's too
already
late.
set.
So yeah, it's just
That's not an off script, off platform play. That's a in script on time play, really.
yep. And then you get this stuff, right? This is, I mean, this is just like
This
this
is
is just
I mean,
unbelievable.
I'm just really impressed with the connection that Nico and CJ have on the scramble drill. I mean, Nico knows exactly where to go, runs in a straight line to the sideline. And I saw Diggs do stuff like that too, run towards CJ or Tank, he'll do it too. They all do such a really good job in the scramble drill. But Nico's just always open.
And
He was
then,
also yeah. I was watching this play and I paused it and I completely forgot that CJ was scrambled here, but Nico was open. He separated on this route.
yeah,
So
yeah. Uh, no, I mean, and we could talk about it too. One of the reasons why we've talked about it on here, uh, like Nixon's not going to play third downs because he completely whiffs on the blitzing corner.
yeah.
Um, just honestly, for the most part, I think it's an effort problem with him. Like it just is kind of like he just takes a really bad angle, and then he almost ends up pushing the corner back into Stroud. So like, and that's why you see a lot of Wale and stuff like that. So that's another reason why I think if Akers has to play, there's not a huge drop off because neither of them pass protect well. They kind of do the same exact stuff. Um, I think Mixon's better, but I don't think it's a huge difference.
Yeah. The ball is also thrown like in stride there too. It's great. And the best
Yeah,
player for the Bears on Sunday night was Kyler Gordon, number 6. He
yeah,
was
he played a really
causing
good game.
havoc.
Yeah,
He
he
had a
was really.
great game. His reaction times, his instincts were kind of off the charts, really. It was
We can
just
talk.
he
I
knew
could
what was
talk
going
about
on.
just kind of because Chicago is a team that I follow some people that are Chicago fans, so I kind of follow them a little bit. And I've been a big fan of their secondary for a while. Obviously, Jalen Johnson, people know how good he is. But then you get, I've been a Tyreek Stevenson fan. I think
Tyreek
he's a good
Stevenson, I was
player.
big on him in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I liked him coming out, and I think he's been a good player. And you get Kyler Gordon, who's pretty much their nickel, but good blitzer, does stuff like maybe he doesn't make the sack here, but he makes the throw a lot harder, right? We talked about Nico was open. If he doesn't get there, um, maybe he makes the throw. So he makes a throw from the pocket. So just stuff like that. I mean, and I think Jaquan Brisker is a good player in a role, right? I like what he does, and Kevin Byard I still think is pretty good. Not as good as he was in Tennessee, but I still think he's a productive player. So um, they have a very good secondary. I like their linebackers too. Like they have a very good defense. Um, I've liked one of their linebackers. I can't think of what his name was. Not Edmonds, but they had another guy that was just as a blitzer. He was wrecking all day too. So um, it was not Edwards.
Is
It was
Edwards.
no.
Or
I'm trying to think. I'll have to look it up. Give me 1 second, but then we can keep watching this stuff. So this was a play that people highlighted. Like you could see, Mixon was not happy with Patterson. He
So
got
I
up and
don't
was
no, and I understand why you would blame Patterson, but this was all Tremaine Edmonds. And Tremaine
yeah,
Edmonds knew it was wide zone. He knew to go to the C gap. That was not on Jarrett Patterson at all. If you expect Jarrett Patterson to catch up to Tremaine Edmonds, then
yeah.
you need to temper your expectations because that's not possible. That's not going to happen. And so this is, yeah, it's the same play. I mean, Tremaine Edmonds is just there. Jared Patterson has no angle to make it to Tremaine Edmonds in time. He would maybe clip his legs slightly if he went straight at an angle or 45 degrees, whatever it is. But no, that's not in slow mo. Or is that in slow mo? I don't know, but
No, it was not.
it's not in
This is
slow mo.
no,
Jared Patterson literally he can't make it to
no.
Edmonds.
I was thinking Jacka Sanborn had a good day too. He was blitzing at a really high level. Like they have a lot of guys on their defense, and Edwards and Edmonds are really good. So just a very good defense that you're going to face. Um,
That's another gadget play for Tank Dell. We saw Diggs get a sweep call like this
yeah,
too. Would like to see Diggs or Nico in this role. Not and Tank has really showed good vision. You can really tell that he's trying. Can tell that he's working the hesitations, the running paths. You're gonna get
this should have been our first down. This
pressure.
was
This was a first down. That was really
now.
confusing.
I will say when it was 4th and 1, the Texans should have gone for it in this spot, but it should have been a first down either way. So
I thought it was first down. And I was
yeah, I
very
did too.
surprised that how is that not doesn't really make
Yeah, no, I
sense.
was I was surprised they didn't, and it was challenged and they kept the call. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
that also didn't make sense. I mean, we weren't able to hear what they were saying. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
All right.
All right.
Do we want to go over? Can we search by like blitzes or pressure on the
Yeah,
quarterback,
we should
stuff
be
like
able to.
that? Okay. But that's really the reason why the Texans won this game. And then
Let's go.
overall, I would just say the second half was filled with blunders, some by CJ, some by the Bears defense just being better, some by the offensive line kind of having some miscommunication, the matchups, for blocking matchups in the run game. It just seemed a little bit off, and that's why CJ felt they weren't playing Houston Texans football. But the defense was phenomenal. And so we'll go over that.
We can sort by blitz. Let's go. We saw this one. I don't think we've seen this
Go to
one
the
yet.
second. Yeah, that should be good.
Okay. Here you go. You get this is Petrie
Petrie just on
blitzing.
nickel blitz. I
Yep.
thought this play by Jimmy Ward should have driven on this stick route a lot earlier. He's
Yeah, yeah.
just
He sat on that too
sitting.
long.
There's nothing else. I mean, maybe a sticking up could have came, but look, DeAndre Carter was just sitting there. He wasn't moving. You got to drive on the ball, go make a play.
Hmm.
Really had to
And
shoot.
Caleb is kind of like antsy about throwing it for some reason. If Ward breaks on this, like you could see it. He kind of sits there. He
And when Ward
pumps almost.
Ward moves his shoulders forward and still hesitates, where he could have driven on it. I don't know why
Yeah.
he was concerned. Just a little weird, kind
There
of
was nothing
instinctual
behind him
play.
either. So it was, yeah, it's a weird
And it's not a
decision.
responsibility. He's playing the curl flat. That is a curl. That is a stick. Go drive on it.
Yeah. I mean, Aziz almost does a better job driving on it than he does. That's not even really his responsibility. So,
No.
um, but I do like the nickel blitz call.
Yeah. See what we get this time. It's gonna be another
And
nickel
Petrie
blitz.
again. Yep. Screen.
And screen. A little bit lucky I felt that There was a low pass, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. But I think Aziz is he's gonna drop back, and he would have been the only guy. Good coverage on the back end, but that doesn't really matter. Texans got really lucky on this play.
Yeah. This could have been a big play.
So we're gonna have to get Kalen Bullock, maybe Jimmy Ward,
Yeah.
come all the way down from the 29-yard line. He's gonna be the only
That was
unblocked guy.
Murray. Yeah, it'd be
Murray.
Murray. Yep.
Murray. So yeah.
Yeah, it could have been rough. um, yeah, definitely. Petrie does do a good job. He would be the only guy that you could hope would really shed off one of those blocks because you like I don't think Stingley's really going to get off the block. Um, I don't know if Aziz could make that play,
Yeah, I mean,
but
actually, now I think about it, Petrie did get 76 on the ground
yeah,
relatively
he could
quickly
at least make
after it hit Swift's hands. So you could see a highlight play from Petrie there. So I would have liked to see that play develop because Texans have got to prove that they can stop all aspects of an offense, and they've not really seen too much when it comes to like stopping screens. Yeah, bubble screens, sure. Wide receiver screens, yes, but halfback screens. Looks like we got Aziz pressuring.
some stuff. The question from the other angle that'll be better.
We got Aziz and Petrie on like a little delay add in. Got a left overload. Yeah, I think we're gonna
Yeah,
get a
Hunter.
twist here.
Yeah, Hunter. Yeah, Hunter twisting.
Yeah. Good job by Derek Barnett, actually, kind of slanting left.
Yep.
So that's good.
Takes the guard with him. Right.
Yeah.
You get Davis. He's horrible, by the way. He's brutal. But he follows Barnett. Hunter is wide open. But then you also get Barnett still winning. He's free. Um, and then what? Like they get that Edwards get the guard on
That
the
Petrie
ground.
trips. Oh, that should have been his sack. Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah, he could have had that. But overall, it's just awesome to see that many guys be able to go make a
Aziz is
play,
being
right? Like Caleb
held.
does a really good
Aziz is
job.
being held big time. I don't really understand how we missed that. I
Oh my
mean, come
God,
on.
yeah.
I can see his hand on his jersey like that. I mean, look, that's just fun simulated pressure right there.
Yeah.
This, I believe, worked. Okay, this was
Yeah.
a good play by Kamari. He was able to get hands on. Legal contact is 5 yards plus. That's 4 or 5 yards. Forced the high throw. This is more of like the Texans bit on the RPO dive, not really a simulated pressure.
No, yeah.
But Obviously, Caleb Bullock there makes Caleb throw it. I'm actually surprised he didn't try to juke out Caleb Bullock because he should know, Caleb Bullock. So maybe he has some tendency.
Yeah, for sure. You get let's go back. Yeah.
Right overload with a stunt from Mario
Oh,
Edwards.
too far back. Yeah. I think we still may have a work in progress with this thing, so
Yeah.
you gotta try out the new features, but it's
hmm
cool. But definitely still gotta work on. This is a good route by Carter. And it's just bad coverage. Lesser kind of sticks down on it.
Yeah, and
And
right there he was actually sitting on the route, unlike the other plays. So maybe that was just kind
yeah,
of an over adjustment. He's
I
just
do
trying to
think
figure it out.
from what I remember, this is a third and five, third and six, third and
And he's
seven.
sitting.
It's a third down, so he thinks it's not. He doesn't assume that they're going to throw the ball 30 yards on third down, which is understandable.
Yeah,
And you can see
it's
why
just playing
they've been
aggressive.
under pressure. And I think especially in a game where you're getting a lot of pressure, you're able to sit on some stuff because they may not have time to throw the ball downfield. So
Yeah, I don't blame him one bit. He knew there was a blitz call coming, so it's totally fair. And there's just a well, Anderson evades the. Yeah, you're gonna see Komet slide.
yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
evades it right there.
Tight end sliding against Anderson's probably not a good choice.
No, no.
But this is a similar concept. Actually, it's the exact same concept is that they ran on Stingley
Yeah.
on the other third down. You get the stack, You get like a fake bubble where he goes on a slant, and Stingley notices it this time.
Fortunately, Petrie gets hands on more to offset him, which
Yep.
I like. I like because even just a little bit of contact goes a long way, and that's kind of the downside of stacked formation. So you can really mess him up with a jam.
Yeah. And but even Stingley does do a good job on this one of
Right.
like doesn't flip
He
outside. He's
yeah,
driving on that
and
the
he
whole
stays
time.
square on it. See what you do?
Yeah.
You stay square and you wait. I mean, it just allows the movement skills to be so much easier.
This is something that I'm gonna have to post about because I did not see this when I watch. Like I said, I didn't watch a lot of the film, but that is something actually that's cool. That's what's cool about watching a lot of the plays back. Is you can kind of see some things that it's legit the exact
Address.
same concept.
Yeah.
And really the reason why they have the tight end block Anderson is because they don't expect Caleb to hold on to the ball that long, but it's just not there at all. It was just not open, and I mean, if he throws that, Singley's picking that. So,
That's just a shame on Shane Waldron there. I mean, that's a
yeah,
really bad
it's a
play.
bad
That's a bad
design.
play call on third
That's a
and
bad
one.
design.
Not trusting your
Terrible
guys
design.
to get 1 yard on the ground, or not trusting Caleb
Terrible
to
design.
drop back. And
Like I said, I know some Bears fans that follow me. I thought it was pretty funny that they're all freaking out because I know they interviewed Clint Kubiak for their job and went with Waldron. So
and
I wouldn't
then
be too happy right now if you watch any Saints film, man. Because oh boy,
there's actually two holds by the Bears on this play, so we can kind of just skip past. I mean, someone clearly grabs Henry Toa,
yep.
and Stingley got tackled. So very odd. Let's see what we get here. Is that the same play?
Same play, same play. Yep. Oh, let's go next play. All right, let's see if we actually go to the next play or if it's gonna. I
Oh,
think this was it. Let's see.
I'll take it.
Did it work?
Looks good.
Nope, it didn't work. It skipped over a play.
Post the interception. Yeah, okay.
Then you get third and 16, third down. I love the blitz calls on third down. You get Aziz and Petrie going.
Javika was just in his bag right there. That's a really bad decision by Caleb Williams, too. You're gonna have
Yeah,
Caleb Bullock flash some range. Hold on, look at the range there by Bullock. That looks really good.
yeah. Because I was thinking almost if you're going to throw this ball, you want to get it more upfield. But Bullock probably comes in and picks it if you get it more upfield. So either way, probably just don't throw
Yeah.
the football there.
Take a look at the end zone view for the pressure
Yeah,
call.
true. You'd almost honestly, the one thing I would say, you'd almost rather, if you were just going to throw a 50-50 ball, you'd almost rather throw it to a Dunze over here with Lassiter in coverage than throw it to this side. Don't throw a
Just the
50-50 ball at Stingley.
They're actually
I
one of the
don't.
cornerbacks that has some of the best ball skills in NFL
Yeah,
history.
yeah. It's
That's
just
a good
a dumb
idea.
decision. Yeah. No, you see, you get again, you get kind of
Another
a twist.
twist.
Yep.
Yeah. Gonna
Oh
have
man, look
Hunter
at
come all the
Edwards.
way around.
Look at Edwards on Davis. Man, isn't that just all
Edwards got some
pretty?
real push, and that's not
Yeah,
supposed
he
to be his
does.
calling card. He's more of a finesse guy, but
Edwards has been probably the best value pickup that they've had
yeah,
over
without
the
a doubt.
offseason. He's been huge, and it was
That's a really good rep.
yep. And then like we talked about, you get Barnett on the inside, which he's not really built for it, but I mean, it just screams to Nico Autry when you watch, right? Like that's exactly what they want him to do, but he's just suspended right now. So if you wonder where Denico Autry is going to be on third down, you could figure it out pretty easily. He's going to be on the inside. Um, and we talk about they run so many twists and stuff. Autry he'll have big numbers in the games that he's going to play. And then let's see. What's the next one? You get a sack. Oh, this is the one that was almost a safety. But you get another. I think this is another twist from what I remember. Yep.
See,
This time it's the two inside guys. You get Barnett and Edwards because it
I
almost looks
like
like
that.
Aziz fakes a stunt.
He does. Yeah, that could
Yeah.
definitely cause some miscommunication. I like yeah, that's what you can do with the wide nine. You get the left overload, so you got a nine, a four eye, and a three tech. I love that. I mean, obviously Barnett, like I said, he gets to be on the field. He's getting paid, but he's not
Yep.
getting to do what he did last year. But
No.
it's just
Once
Nico
Autry's
being in
back,
his
you would
bag.
assume that he'll be more of a rotational edge than a guy that you play on third down on the insides.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, Mario Edwards has earned the spot as the other pass rushing defensive tackle on
Oh,
third down.
for sure,
No
100%. Edwards
reason
has
to
been awesome.
no reason to have Barnett over Edwards in that situation. This time Aziz is
This
just gonna come
one,
free.
oh man, yeah,
And Bears
he got
just got kind
rocked.
of frustrated, kind of flustered. Because you're gonna get a little bit of a delay. Yeah, he's gonna
It's a
there's
bad
70,
job by the
70,
guard.
76 is just gonna simply go to Khalil Davis. And
Hey, I don't blame him on here. You got to get two on Davis, right? You got to double team Khalil Davis when he's on the field. He's been watching our film.
yeah. And then like you said, Nate Davis just had a really rough game.
God,
You
he's
got Tim
brutal.
Settle giving him a stab and knockback. Jerry Hughes
Yeah,
is getting pressure on Darnell Wright. Derek Barnett, let's see what he does. He gets in. That's kind of that is Derek Barnett's calling card right there. The quick
yeah,
swipe and the
yeah.
bend. He did that last year too for a couple sacks against the
I like
Titans.
the jump, the
Yeah.
jump swim,
Mm-hmm.
the jump swipe. No, but I like Derek Barnett as a third edge a lot. Like we said, he's not built for the inside, but once you get Autry back, he can rotate more into being that third edge, and he's
Yeah,
very
I'd be
good at that.
curious to see if they would be ballsy enough to trade him at the deadline. Actually, I feel
Yeah,
like some teams might be saying, "Okay, we need another edge." Derek
I'm
Barnett's
always
definitely
shocked
good
that
up to start.
always shocked that no team signed him in the offseason, to be honest with
Oh
you.
yeah, that too. I would have easily um, signed him to be the second edge.
Yeah. No, I was shocked that another team didn't sign him with how well he played for us.
Yeah. Now we got Henry To'oTo'o lining up in a wide nine, or outside of the wide nine. He's gonna come. Z's gonna come. So Mike will blitz with another twist. You're gonna
Yeah.
get settle slant, Dave's twist on the stunt. So D'Amico is just trying to confuse, collapse the pocket.
And again, yeah.
Caleb can't step up here because Aziz is really more of like a spy. It's not a
Yeah, he's
stunt,
not.
it's more of a spy.
But
He
I do like the
occupies a
fact that
body.
we talked about it last play, but Aziz will pretty much every time he's blitzing, he's gonna fake like he's stunning. Like even here, you get the little stutter step to where you try
Yeah.
to make the guard because he knows he's quicker than the guard, right? So if the guard shifts his feet too far, he's gone. You're
But
not
he
gonna
knows
touch
he
him.
can't bull rush the guard too, so he's
Yeah.
not worried about getting a knockback. He's just kind of occupying space.
A space. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. And then Kamari did a good job here. And then
Yeah.
that must have been the target. Kamari on board.
Yep.
This left overload again. No stunt, but it
Drop.
looks like Barnett money on that. That's Hunter.
You see it. There's just what you get
Yeah,
the
Barnett.
four, and then
Actually,
again.
Barnett's in a 4-eye, I think, right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you get Aziz again is kind of not. He's not even really blitzing here. He's kind of just in a not necessarily a spiral, but like you said, he's just kind of taking up space. Um, because really the spy here is who's that? Murray, right? Murray's kind of he's got the
Yeah.
running back. He's watching Caleb, and then Aziz is kind of just there to take up space and make the basically just
He wants
occupy the
everyone to
guard.
have one-on-one matchups. They
Yeah,
can't double team
exactly.
Daniil Hunter off the edge, which is huge because look at the knockback that Daniil Hunter gets because he has all that natural power and strength. And Will Anderson can swoop along the edge. Don't love that pass rush plan, but that's just kind of probably more so by design.
Yeah,
Like we talked about last week, I think Will Anderson is just kind of given like it's like he's given a route. He's
yeah,
told what to do most of the
yeah.
time.
Yeah, and he still is up there. You look at double team rates. He's at the top still. He's like he basically just takes on double teams and lets other guys go one on one, right? Like he's going to take the double teams and let Hunter go one on one, and that's why you let Hunter go one on one right there.
Yep.
I mean, right? Like he is a. I
uh,
mean,
and we can talk about the block from Darnell Wright all day long, but I mean,
yeah,
Hunter can instill a lot of fear in you, and the fact that he's that powerful and can move his hips like this inside outside,
um,
uh,
yeah. I mean,
uh,
yeah.
like come on,
You can watch. It's not just Darnell Wright. That's the thing.
no,
You could go watch indie film, like because the thing with Hunter is his go to move is to spin. He's really good at that spin move,
yeah,
but You're
first
so
pass rush
worried
of
about the
the Colts
spin
game.
that now he can swim, he can, like you said, he could just swipe. He can do so many different moves, and he's also stronger and probably has longer arms than you. He can long arm you and then swim. He could do so many different things that like Darnell Wright's pretty much just guessing. He doesn't have any idea because if Hunter hits him with a good move, there's probably not much he can do either way. Um, so he's pretty much. I mean, come on, like it's not even close. I mean, Wright barely touches him, right? And it's like, well, what are you gonna do? I mean, really, you could watch this game. Hunter could have had 4 sacks. Anderson could have had 4 sacks.
Absolutely.
They both had 1.5 or 2. They could have had many more sacks. It was they were dominant. So,
I mean, when we play the Titans, they should come with the same exact game plan and just let's see how the sack numbers look then. I
oh
don't think
boy,
Will Levis is escaping all that stuff. I mean, I hope they really do instill this game plan against the Vikings. I can understand if they want to go about it a little bit differently. They should try to trust Stingley for as long as you can against Jefferson. But I
yep,
just like to think that Sam Darnold under pressure was never good
no,
previously. And you got to test that. I don't really feel like the Niners tested that. I didn't watch too much of that game. Didn't sound like
yeah.
he was under
I'm
pressure.
not as
The
impressed with.
Giants had 0 sacks, I think.
No, yeah, the Giants, yeah.
So
I'm just not as impressed with the Niners front as a lot of people are when you look at their front top to bottom. Nick Bosa, unbelievable talent, right? Like no denying that. But Lee Collins, like we saw him here, he's decent, not great. Their other edge is Leonard Floyd, who's eh, right? And
yeah.
Minnesota's got a very good tackle duo. So you cannot like Leonard Floyd was never going to win, right? It was just like a given. You could double Nick Bosa and let him go 1-on-1. You can't really do that with the Texans. That's the difference. You can't really let either of the edges go 1-on-1 because and you don't see the Niners, especially now without a Sala or D'Amico. They don't run a ton of twists. They don't get all that fancy on the fronts. Like you'll see if on a third down you don't want to go against the tackle duo. Like Hunter and Anderson can both just stunt, and then you get him on a guard, right? Like the Texans will do that type of stuff, and we could have so many more sacks just because we faced two of the most mobile quarterbacks in the NFL. You get Sam Darnold, who's not going to avoid pressure. They should go blitz. Maybe not as much as they did against Chicago because that was a ton. It was like 50% of the time. But you would like to see the pressure get there. If you can get there with 4, then don't blitz. But um, I would like to see on third down you go after it more. So we'll see what happens. But I do expect them to go after it because it's worked. It's where it worked against Chicago. We talk about Darnold's not going to avoid pressure, and really, Darnold's always been Darnold has a good arm, but he doesn't play well under pressure, and he makes
I
dumb
wouldn't
decisions
want
under
them to
pressure.
say, let's let Darnold air it out because what if he does start to dice you up versus like the on the whole shots or just in zone
Yeah,
coverage? You should try, especially early on, to just put as much pressure, at least condense the pocket, try to get these one-on-one matchups where the power of and like Anderson and Hunter are some of the most powerful pass rushers when it comes to just creating that initial knockback. You should just try to at least condense the pocket. Don't have them rush upfield. Just work on really making it uncomfortable
yeah,
for
just a
Sam.
muddy pocket. Yep. And like we talked about, they were going to run a ton of twists. Aziz is going to blitz. As long as he's not suspended. Hopefully, I don't think he
I
is,
know
but
I thought he might be suspended after
yeah,
the
I know.
punch, but I guess it's
It's
Wednesday,
probably a fine.
so
It's probably a fine.
yeah,
But as long as he's not suspended, he's going to blitz.
yeah.
And the thing is, the Texans have had to spy these last couple of games, and they've still ran more man than I expected because man is hard to do against a mobile quarterback because you got your back turned. It's a lot tougher, but they've ran a lot of man, and I think especially this game, you do want to probably double Jefferson a lot of the time, but you can run man against every other weapon on that team. I'm not afraid of Jalen Naylor, decent player, doesn't strike fear into me. I don't know if Addison's playing. I think Hawkinson's on IR, so he's not playing. Um, you can run man and then just blitz without having to worry about Darnold taking off. So that's the game plan that I would look at, and it's kind of what they did against Chicago. Um, but you're gonna have to you're gonna have to have multiple, you're gonna have safety help and other stuff on Jefferson. I love Stingley, but end of the day, no, I don't know if there's any corner in the league to cover Jefferson one on one.
I
That dude
agree.
is amazing, right? Like
Yeah,
So,
that's fair.
and yeah, and almost every team you see does double him, and he's going to make some plays too. I mean, he's unbelievable. And KOC is really good at scheming stuff up. He's a very good coach. Brian Flores is a really good coach. So it should be a fun game for sure. It's a good kind of testing. You're on the road, 2-0 team, even though I think we're better than Minnesota. Um, just kind of see where you're at
I
for
mean,
sure.
the Vikings are 2-0 because of their coaching.
Oh yeah,
Because their scheme, offense and defensively, is just so good. You have that
yeah,
West Coast scheme
they're
from the
really good.
Vikings, blitz heavy attacking scheme. You know, Blake Cashman swarming all around the field for the Vikings. You're going to see Jonathan Grenard too. I like the pieces on the Vikings defense. The
Yep.
offense, not so much. So I'll be really intrigued to see the defensive game plan. I just want them to kind of mix it up and don't get stagnant or vanilla. And that goes for both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
Really,
I
so
agree.
it'll be interesting to see how they go about that.
And we can. I was shocked when Ivan Pace fell as far as he did in the draft, and
Oh
he's
yeah,
been really good for them. So they have good linebacker talent. I just think it's all going to come down to how you pick up the blitzes that Flores is going to throw at you because I do think their secondary is not very good um, at
Mhm.
all. Like they do not have a good secondary. So if you can hold up against that front, then you'll be fine.
And the important thing will probably be that they have to run the ball. The Texans are going to have to be able to
Yeah,
run the ball successfully to
yeah.
get them out of those blitz packages. So should we take a look at Cam Akers, his carries?
Let's do it. Let's do that. All right, and we can go.
And obviously, the run game's going to look different just in general because of Juice Scruggs, not necessarily who the running back is. I think that there's
Yeah, for sure.
a really good argument to say that Juice Scruggs is the reason why the Texans' run game is so good. And part of that is just because he was the starting center that was there in the offseason with the first team. Jared Patterson was not with the first team as the center. I
Let's go to
like
the other angle.
just kind of how he gets upfield, climb, cuts, a little bit more patience too, as where we saw Damian Pierce. No patience, just kind of straight line, but look at that. Calm feet, climbing, knifing to the defense.
Yeah,
Man, that's really good evasion at the end there. Could have been 4 yards, turns into seven. Dalton Schultz is just kind of there, walling off.
yep,
Akers is kind of using him. So I like that. Is that another? Did he have two 7 yard? Yeah, yeah.
yep, yep.
And
There
he
we
also
go.
had a 13 yard. So he really had a solid game.
Yeah. No, he was at like 4.6 a carry, I think, or
And then
something like
this,
that.
obviously, he gets contacted right at the line of scrimmage. It's not on Cam Akers. I'll take a look at it from the other view.
This should be this is
Uh,
a 7 yarder, I think.
that's just is that the guard just pull? Oh no, didn't pull. That's not really something we saw last week. Just gonna kind of be a little zone. Patterson
Yeah.
walling off opening up the B gap. That's more like the eight, yeah, B gap guard tackle. So good
Yep.
space.
No, they did a lot of different run schemes against Chicago. And maybe it's just good because they felt like Patterson was more comfortable doing certain things over
I think
Scruggs.
so. I can't
Because
imagine any other reason.
yeah, no, that has to be the reason. But Akers did a pretty good job, I thought, overall. I thought he ran the ball well. And we'll see. He had this nice 13 yarder as well. It's a good run. See.
Yeah, it looks like Dalton Schultz at fullback here.
Yep.
And a really good job. You can see the run's designed to go to the left. Take a look from the other angle, but he's going to go up and to the right. Definitely a strong left scenario there. You're gonna get power from Shaq Mason there. Guard pulls.
Hansel does a good job stealing on this on
Yes,
Brisker
very
too.
good job. Obviously smaller body, but important for him to kind of seal it right there.
Yeah.
Kenyon Green also identifies 53. So kind of
Yep.
finalized there. I would like to see Diggs or actually more like Hutchinson or Woods in this scenario, get hands on
Yeah,
number
yeah.
29. Gotta go get hands on. Then let Cam Akers make the other guy miss and really be looking at a potential touchdown.
I feel like one of the positives to Akers over Mixon is it feels like he makes more guys miss. Akers is more so just trying to get as many yards as he can, where Akers can kind of make guys miss in the open field because it doesn't feel like Mixon really looks to make a ton of guys miss. He's more so like just trying to run you over and try to get as many yards as he can, which is not a bad thing. I like my running backs doing that, but there's certain positives that Akers can bring you um,
Right.
that Mixon doesn't bring you. We can look at the fumble too. The fumble was unfortunate, but
Their power concept. Not really sure what Dalton Schultz is doing on this play. He looks pissed at himself too, so I don't know if there's a way to go back.
yeah, I got you.
Dalton Schultz at fullback is never ideal. He just kind of whiffs on that block. And that's something they're going to look at and they watch film and say, okay, Dalton Schultz,
Yeah, not a
not
fullback.
your role. We don't need to put you in that spot again. Not even sure why. I mean, we don't know how many snaps Kate Stover took for them to feel the need to do that.
We can let's find there. Yeah, we just whiffs.
But I mean, if Dalton Schultz gets the bangs in there, Mason climbs, then Mason climbs and Akers can get up there and kind of knife through the defense. They're just getting a little zone, makes the first man miss.
This was an impressive run to me just because I like the fact that for a smaller guy he lowers his shoulder and
Right.
gets more yards out of it. Right?
Yeah,
We're
you
talking
get some
about
extra
trying to
yardage.
stay. Yeah, we're trying to stay out of the blitz packages. You want to get as many yards as you can on a first and second down. So the fact that he kind of turns it into maybe two to four ish is pretty huge.
Yeah, they're not going to really be able to send too much pressure if you can get 4 yards per carry, because then the Texans are okay. Well, 4 yards per carry, they're running every single play, and I don't think they're worried about Akers' workload necessarily. Now, the running back room won't look too good. Is Jawar Jordan on practice squad? Because I don't really know how much they would want to
Yeah,
get Jawar the
he
ball.
he. I think he's on IR though.
That's true, he is on IR. So now I really don't expect Mixon and Pierce to be out because the Texans did not add a running back to the practice squad today. They had an opportunity to. They added someone else to the practice squad, but not a running back. So that kind of tells me they think Mixon can play. Mixon could also get just a couple carries, and Akers could carry the load. Like I said earlier, I don't really mind. I think Cam Akers looks really good in this zone running scheme. But they
For
also ran a
sure.
lot of power. They ran two concepts of power with Akers.
No, they use Akers multiple different ways. Like I said, probably because Patterson. It does sound like Pierce might be back too. So you get him. Him and Akers could carry a load for a game or two. Like you said, maybe Mixon plays. Don't know. We'll have to figure that out. You see as the week progresses. But either way, I don't feel bad about Akers being the running back. Like I said, outside of the fumble, thought he played a good game. You cannot fumble in that situation, so that's something that you have to talk about. You cannot fumble there, but um, you know, sucks. But thought he played a pretty decent game. All
Yeah.
right. Anything
Yes.
else you want to go over?
No, I think we kind of covered it with the game plan for the Vikings there.
Yep.
I can't say in full confidence what the Texans defense will do against the Vikings because it gets a little tricky there with, just how do we want to cover Justin Jefferson? What do we think Sam Darnold will be uncomfortable with? Because obviously Sam Darnold was not a very good NFL quarterback not too long ago, but he has looked
No.
really good for the Vikings. Scheme has looked good offensively. The defensive scheme is always going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
These are two really good football teams. This is going to be the best game of the week. It's a shame that it's at 12 o'clock. But I think everyone that's not a Texans or Vikings fan is going to enjoy this game. This is going to be a close one.
Yep.
When, unless the injuries really piled up for the Texans, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. And it's a great jersey matchup. Vikings got those throwbacks. They're sweet.
How do they do the throwbacks? Yeah.
They're sweet. They're sweet. And I like the Texans jerseys, so I'm a big jersey guy. So I think for your average fan, good jersey matchup, more inclined to watch it. So um like you said, I don't know why it's not a primetime game or why it's not
Well,
game of
they
the
know the
week or
Vikings
whatever
are
they
going to
do. I don't
be.
know.
The Bills game isn't a primetime game. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
There's some no Colts primetime games. Well,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if the team wants to see us run for 300 yards again against Indy. So they're doing Buckner's out now. Boy, that situation's gotten bad pretty fast. Um,
and that's
but
all.
all right, let's go through for the Minnesota game. You got one offensive, one defensive guy. Who you going with?
Gotta go Juice Scruggs.
Okay.
I think that he's gonna he's not gonna be mid. He's either gonna be look very good or just not good at all. I feel like he's a huge piece of this offense. I have no doubts that the Texans' offense and running game, like we talked about, changed because he was out. It's not ideal. You don't really want to see them change up just because a center is out. You would
Yeah.
like everyone to be scheme versatile. But I really like the way Juice Scruggs and Kenyon Green work together against the Colts. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I'll go I'll go Henry To'oTo'o again defensively.
Okay.
I think that
But I found these results on search.
got my Google Home searching something for some reason. But no, I think that Henry To'oTo'o was really impressive against the Bears, and I think will be a key with the Vikings. I'm interested to see how the Vikings run game looks actually, because I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball against the
No, I
Texans.
don't think so
I
either. I don't
really,
think
I
so
really
either.
don't. So I think that'll be huge for Henry to shut down the run game and allow D'Amico to open the playbook. It's because that stuff happens on defense. I know people talk about opening the playbook on offense, but you can really open the playbook on defense by shutting down the run. And Henry To'oTo'o has been phenomenal with that.
Yeah, for sure. I'll go. Let's just let's just assume Mixon's not going to play. I'll go Cam Akers. Revenge game. He was with Minnesota last year, so you get that going. I'm a believer in Cam Akers in this scheme. I think he's a good fit, and I think like I said, I think he showed good things against Chicago. So that'd be my offensive guy. Defensively, I will go. Let's see. That's tough. It's tough because I don't know what Minnesota is going to try to do on
Do
offense. If
you
they're
trust
going
Derek
to,
Stingley? Because then that could really be the guy.
I don't know. I don't think I trust anybody in the league against
Yeah,
Jefferson one on one.
that's fair.
So,
That's fair.
actually, you know what I'll do? I will go with Eric Murray because I think you're going to see a lot of double team and or Kalen Bullock. I think
Yeah,
you're going to see a lot of
the deep
safety double
safety.
teams. Yeah, whoever the deep safety is, and that'll be my player of the week. I would assume this week is a week where you see a lot of Kalen Bullock because if you're going to try to play coverage with him and double a receiver like that, you probably want the guy who's better in coverage, and that is Kalen Bullock. So I'll go with Bullock. I think he's going to have to kind of bracket Jefferson a lot of the time. And, like you said, if you can heat up the pocket against Darnold, he'll probably, I think you'll see him try to force the ball to Jefferson sometimes. And that's an opportunity where Kalen Bullock can make a huge, like, game changing play or even just take it away and make him go, like I said, Jalen Naylor or one of these other guys, try to just make it go the other direction. And because honestly, if they throw it up to Jefferson 1-on-2, he may still come down with it. He's that good. So just try to force it in the other direction.
Hmm. I guess on a side note, just look out for Daniel Hunter. He's really been making quarterbacks uncomfortable. I think that overall is
Yeah.
huge. He's going to get one-on-one matchups again. That's what they've done the first 2 weeks, and so I think they'll continue to do that.
Yep, for sure. I think you see, like I said, I think Darisaw and O'Neal are two or some of the better or one of the better tackle duos in the league. But I think you'll see a lot of times Anderson go against Darisaw, who's clearly better. But we talk about Anderson's game plan is not a lot of times making a ton of first moves. He's just there to draw double teams. And stop the run. So um,
Um,
he's going to do that against no matter what tackle it is. It doesn't matter who he's going against. He can do that. And then you're going to get Hunter one-on-one with O'Neal, ideally. But then you could also twist, like I said, you could get these other interior guys. You could get Edwards or some of these guys going. So I think defensive line is going to play well. They've played well the first two games. And then you're going to have these blitzing. You're going to have these other guys. I think the key is you got to just not stop Jefferson because you're not going to do it, but you have to try to slow him down and not let him single-handedly beat you. Because honestly, that's what it felt like to me watching the Niners game. Was a lot of it was just Jefferson. Like Niners were in the game, backed up on the three, and Jefferson goes 97 yards. It was over at that point. It was
right.
over. I mean, so you cannot let one dude beat you. Is really what the game plan's got to be.
Surprising that the Niners let that happen. I don't expect D'Amico Ryans to let that happen.
No, no, for sure. Is the Niners DC still Wilkes? Is he still there?
No,
How they got rid of him? Okay, yeah,
no, yeah.
yeah. Oh, I didn't think he was a very good defensive coordinator. So, all right. Anything else you want to add for this game? Or
I think that's it. Looking forward to game between two good teams.
yeah, should be fun. Should be a fun one for sure. A good test on the road, like I talked about. Minnesota's
Yeah.
not a place that's easy to play either. Places,
Cool.
it's a fun play. Yeah, you get the
Yeah.
school chance going. No, it'll be a good matchup for sure. You get two good coaching staffs too.
Yeah.
So I'm a big KOC guy. So I've talked about Flores too. So it's good. Two good teams, two well coached teams. Good matchup for sure. All right. I think that'll pretty much do it. Make sure y'all stay tuned for next week. Pretty much every Thursday we got episodes coming out now. Usually later at night, around 7 they come out, and make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Kind of just go through the prior week. We'll go into the upcoming week, kind of talk about game plans and stuff like that from what we see. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Y'all like, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time.